Anime is full of all kinds of interesting power systems, ranging from standard ideas like magic and spiritual energy to creative marvels that just barely make any sense. In today's video, I'll be explaining all the major power systems in anime so that you'll never be confused when you see an insane power-up. Let's start off with Ki, the classic power system that defined many old-school shonen anime like Dragon Ball and Yu Yu Hakusho. In Dragon Ball, Ki is the life force energy that exists in all living beings. By training their bodies and mastering control over their Ki, warriors can perform superhuman feats like flying, shooting energy blasts, and powering up to incredible levels. Yu Yu Hakusho uses a similar but more nuanced approach, with characters possessing multiple types of Ki. The standard energy humans possess is called Reiki, while demons have a more powerful version called Yoki. The most powerful form is Seikoki, a type of sacred energy that only a rare few can attain. We see the natural evolution of Ki through the development of chakra, the power system used in Naruto. Humans in the Naruto universe didn't originally have chakra, and it was Hagoromo Otsutsuki who introduced it to humans through the teachings of the Ninshu. Chakra is formed by combining physical energy from your cells with spiritual energy from your consciousness, creating a blend that flows through the chakra pathway system, a network similar to the human nervous system. While chakra was initially meant to be a way to forge spiritual connections, humans ended up weaponizing this power to perform ninjutsu. Shinobi who mastered ninjutsu can then use it to perform various techniques, such as putting up barriers, walking on water, creating clones, breathing fire, and much more. You might think that Ki and chakra feel almost similar to magic, but in anime, magic is a completely different power system that varies widely depending on the series. For example, in Fairy Tail, magic is emotional and expressed through guilds and individual styles. Natsu uses Dragon Slayer magic that grows stronger with his emotional intensity, while Urza uses re-equip magic to swap weapons and armor. Frieren represents a more methodical approach, where magic is learned through grimoires and visualization. Mages have reserves of a type of spiritual energy called mana that determines the power and number of spells that they can cast. Seven Deadly Sins, on the other hand, uses magic tied to magical abilities and power levels. Each character has a unique power, such as Melodius has full counter that reflects magic, or Ban has snatch that steals objects and physical abilities. Another common power system we see in anime is that of superpowers caused by mutations, quirks in My Hero Academia, or the S-class heroes in One Punch Man. In these cases, individuals are born with superpowers like incredible strength, blinding speed, or psychic abilities, among others. The Devil Fruits in One Piece are an extension of this concept, as characters aren't born with a superpower, but can obtain one after consuming a special fruit. Now, before we go back to the classics, let's look at a few super unique power systems introduced in new gen anime. The Devils in Chainsaw Man have one of the most unique power systems in modern anime, as they are literal manifestations of human fears. Here's the genius. The more humanity fears something, the more powerful its devil becomes. A car devil would be strong because cars evoke fear of getting run over and dying, while the gun devil became catastrophically powerful after a mass shooting event increased global gun fear. Devils can make contracts with humans to grant powers in exchange for sacrifices, or possess human corpses to become fiends. The Chainsaw Devil is special because it's feared by other devils, giving it unique powers like erasing concepts from reality when it devours other devils. Somewhat similar to devils in terms of possessing humans, I have the Titans from Attack on Titan. The Titan power system is pretty interesting, because pure Titans are mindless giants created when subjects of Ymir are injected with Titan serum. However, there are 9 Titan shifters who maintain their human intelligence and can transform into uniquely powerful Titans at will. For example, the Colossal Titan we see in the first season is a massive 60-meter giant with a body temperature so high that it routinely emits steam. Once someone is transformed into a Titan, their only hope of becoming human again is to devour a Titan shifter, inheriting that power and regaining their humanity. However, shifters only live 13 years after inheriting their power due to Ymir's curse. Until now, you've only seen some planetary-level power systems, but this next type has the potential to shake the multiverse. Spiral power from Gurren Lagann is evolution itself given form. It's the infinite energy generated by beings with spiral DNA, such as humans and other life forms capable of evolving. As we see in the final arc of the series, this power literally defies physics, as it breaks the conservation of energy, creates mass from willpower, and can even manipulate space-time. The more willpower and fighting spirit you have, the more spiral power you can generate. And by the end of the series, Simon has essentially infinite spiral power. But naturally, there's a catch. If used recklessly, spiral power could grow beyond the spiral lifeform's ability to control, resulting in a universe-ending catastrophe called called Spiral Nemesis. That got out of hand really quick, so let's pull back and look at one of the weaker power systems on this list: breathing styles from Demon Slayer. Demon Slayers use breathing techniques to enhance their physical abilities beyond human limits by increasing oxygen in their blood. This grants them temporary superhuman strength, speed, and endurance, which allows them to keep up with demons in battle. The 5 core breathing styles are water, fire, thunder, wind, and stone, with all breathing styles being derived from sun breathing, the original technique created by Yoriichi Tsukikuni. Each form creates visual effects like waves, flames, or lightning, but these are mostly aesthetic representations of the technique's nature, not actual elemental manipulation. Sticking with the new Jin Shonen series, the next entry is Cursed Energy from the Jujutsu Kaisen universe. Cursed energy is born from negative emotions, and non-sorcerers leak this energy unconsciously, creating cursed spirits. Sorcerers learn to control their cursed energy to fight curses, with the goal of either sealing or exorcising them using cursed techniques. Cursed techniques are mostly innate techniques, which are abilities you're born with and are essentially carved into your brain. However, there are plenty of creative options in battle, like binding vows, heavenly restrictions, and domain expansions that honestly deserve an explainer video of their own. I'll just cover the most interesting of these: reverse curse technique, because it takes the concept of converting cursed energy into positive energy, which can be used for healing or regeneration. Next up, let's go to the JoJo universe, where stands are the dominant power system. Stands are physical manifestations of fighting spirit, and each stand is unique to its user, reflecting their personality and desires. This is actually a pretty interesting system, because the main characters don't get any power boosts throughout the series, and only become more competent at using their stands. The way you get stands is also a bit odd, since the first few seasons featured stand users who got it through genetic inheritance, but newer seasons introduced other alternatives, like stand arrows or Pucci's discs. Another power that depends on your fighting spirit is Reiatsu from Bleach, which basically translates into spiritual pressure, or the force exerted by spiritual energy. In Bleach, stronger beings have immense Reiatsu, which allows them to destroy matter, create shockwaves, crush weaker opponents, or negate their abilities. In a clash between two Soul Reapers, Reiatsu is typically the deciding factor in who will absorb the impact and actually end up taking damage. The Soul Reapers in Bleach also use specialized weapons called Zanpakuto in combat, which all have one sealed form and 2 released forms called Shikai and Bankai. The world of One Piece takes the manifestation of willpower a bit further with its power system Haki. Unlike other anime, Haki in One Piece takes 3 forms: observation, armament, and conquerors. Observation Haki basically lets you sense others' presence and intent while also improving your aim and accuracy. However, an advanced variation of observation Haki lets the user see a few seconds into the future while fighting. Armament Haki is the creation of a type of armor that can be used both to strengthen attacks or reinforce defense. While anyone can learn armament and observation Haki, Conqueror's Haki is an extremely rare ability that can only be used by 1 in a million people. The technique lets the user dominate the will of others and can even knock out weak-willed combatants. We're at the final 2 entries on our list, and to start closing things out, I have Nen from Hunter x Hunter. Nen is perhaps the most complex power system in anime, but it starts out simple, being officially defined as the manipulation of life energy. Broadly speaking, there are 6 Nen types: enchantment, transmutation, emission, conjuration, manipulation, and other abilities that don't fit in the previous 5, which are called specialization types. Hunters are born with an affinity for one type, but can learn others at reduced efficiency. Nen users can also make their techniques more powerful through methods such as taking risks or making a vow that places limitations on their abilities, incorporating even more creativity and strategy into the power system. And finally, I have perhaps the most elegant power system in anime: alchemy. Alchemy isn't like other superpowers because it follows the rule of equivalent exchange. To obtain something of equal value must be lost. You can't create matter from nothing or gain anything without sacrifice. Alchemists draw mutation circles to focus their energy and perform alchemy, but some alchemists who have seen the truth can clap their hands to perform alchemy without circles. However, seeing the truth requires committing the taboo of human transmutation, and such alchemists must pay for their sins by losing a part of their bodies. The Philosopher's Stone appears to break the rules of alchemy by making impossible transmutations possible, but in reality, these artifacts just use human souls as fuel to power transmutations. And there you have it, every major power system in anime explained. Did I miss any of your favorite anime? Let me know in the comments down below.